Welcome back to Live Now from Fox. I'm Shauna Kalafi. A live look at the White House this Christmas evening. We are following breaking news from D.C. President Trump announcing that the U.S. has launched airstrikes in Nigeria. This is the post from President Trump on Truth Social just a few minutes ago. He said, "Tonight, at my direction as Commander-in-Chief, the United States launched a powerful and deadly strike against ISIS terrorist scum in northwest Nigeria who have been targeting and viciously killing primarily innocent Christians at levels not seen for many years and even centuries. I have previously warned these terrorists that if they did not stop the slaughtering of Christians, there would be hell to pay, and tonight there was. The Department of War executed numerous perfect strikes as only the United States is capable of doing. Under my leadership, our country will not allow radical Islamic terrorism to prosper. May God bless our military, and Merry Christmas to all, including the dead terrorists, of which there will be many more if their slaughter of Christians continues." That was from President Trump, and we also have a reaction to that from Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. He said the president was clear last month the killing of innocent Christians in Nigeria and elsewhere must end. The Department of War is always ready, so ISIS found out tonight on Christmas. More to come. Grateful for Nigerian government support and cooperation. Merry Christmas. Again, that was breaking news from Washington, D.C. Tonight, President Trump announcing the U.S. has launched airstrikes in Nigeria. He says against ISIS terrorists there who have been committing violence and killing innocent Christians. That is from President Trump tonight. Breaking news. We will continue to follow that and any developments that come.
As the holiday season approached, Turkey moved first. Across Istanbul, doors were forced open and suspects detained, as authorities raced to stop planned attacks on Christmas and New Year's events. From city streets to distant intelligence operations abroad, officials say a wider threat was unfolding and narrowly disrupted. Turkish authorities say they have disrupted planned attacks targeting Christmas and New Year's celebrations after detaining more than 100 suspected members of the so-called Islamic State group. Counter-terrorism police carried out coordinated raids at 194 locations across Istanbul, detaining 115 suspects and seizing firearms, ammunition, and organizational materials. Prosecutors said the operation followed intelligence indicating that IS supporters were actively planning attacks this week with a focus on crowded public spaces and non-Muslim communities. According to BBC, arrest warrants had been issued for 137 suspects in total, some of whom were already wanted in earlier investigations. Officials said several of those detained were in contact with IS operatives outside Turkey, and efforts are continuing to locate at least 22 additional suspects. Authorities temporarily heightened security nationwide as the holiday period approached, citing the country's history of past attacks. Turkey remains on alert during major public events, particularly after a New Year's Day attack in Istanbul in 2017 that killed 39 people at a nightclub along the Bosphorus. Security officials said there was no immediate threat following the latest arrests. The Istanbul raids came days after Turkish intelligence carried out a separate operation abroad, detaining a senior IS-linked figure along the Afghanistan-Pakistan border. Turkish intelligence sources identified the suspect as a Turkish national accused of holding a leadership role within the Islamic State's regional affiliate. Authorities said he had been tasked with planning attacks against civilians in multiple countries, including Turkey and parts of Europe. Investigators said the suspect had risen through the group's ranks after training in militant camps and had survived previous airstrikes targeting IS positions. He was later brought back to Turkey to face prosecution. The operation underscores Turkey's broader campaign against IS networks, both domestically and overseas. The country shares a long border with Syria, where remnants of the group continue to operate despite sustained military pressure. Turkish officials say intelligence cooperation with international partners has intensified, particularly as the United States carries out renewed airstrikes against IS targets in Syria following a deadly ambush earlier this month. Authorities say counter-terrorism operations will continue through the holiday period, with security forces remaining on high alert to prevent any renewed threats.